Hey, Josiah Fillets, owner of FDF Fabrication. That good? Alright, so we're going to start over here. This is where we design our cages. We use what's called Bentech. Bentech software it's not as so much as what people think, where you can just print out a cage and it's just going to work. It takes a lot of, you have to reverse engineer the inside of the car, essentially, and how you do it is by using points. So you can see the pickup points that I measured from the car, which are these green dots here. And these green dots are basically the critical points where I think the tube needs to be changed, the direction of the tube needs to be changed according to the chassis contour. So I can go over to the Subaru that we have just in the back of the shop and show you this exact cage and the two A-pillars that we just made. So if we go this way, this is a 2015 STI. We built the back half of the cage last year, and Chris STI ran it for the season. He just wanted a half cage. He was only running street class, and now he's upgrading classes. He's going to super street. So basically, this is the A-pillar that program put out. There's a couple changes in degrees, so we're not bending on a single axis. We do some rotations in the bender to accommodate, because as the tube goes down the car, the window frame gets wider as it goes down. So you always have to make changes to the rotation of the tube before the next bend. And that's how you get a fit where it's going to touch the A-pillar all the way down and all the way to the main hoop. And yeah, our main focus here is to get the tightest fitting cage possible. And that's just a quick look at how we do that. The rest of the stuff that we do here is a lot more than just cages, but I'll show you briefly. This is a cage that we did a couple months ago. This cage, we went for a street car look. That's what the customer wanted, but it's a full drift car. It's got multi-link angle kit. The heel plates and everything on the interior is stripped out. The door bars are gutted. It's got our Lexan windows. Basically everything on here we designed and built. The cage, as you can see on that one, is tight to the A-pillars. We put gussets in it on the front. It's got two bucket seats. The seat brackets are our own in-house made seat brackets. They're fully adjustable. Yeah, it's just like what we like to do here, full car builds. We got another car in the back here. Don't mind the mess. So this car is kind of different. The white 350 is a drift car. The Subaru is a time attack car. And then this is a drag car. So the cages are actually a lot different when you compare them. The tube sizes are different. The base plate regulations are different. And just the design itself is a lot different. In this one, a drag cage, this car will be legal to run 8.5 seconds. And that requires the two tubes to go to the bulkhead in the center, which you'll only ever see in a drag car, is these two tubes in the center of the main hoop going to the bulkhead. And then the tube diameter has to be 1 3/4 and then a really thick wall tube. That's just what the regulations specify. And then a lot of the things that we do to build the cages are what we use over here. So the bandsaw we use to cut the tubes. We outfit this lathe with, this was just an old drill press vise that I machined V-blocks for. And the tube sits inside and the hole saw is put in the chuck. And basically when you fire up the lathe, you can just notch tubes like they're not even there. So that's how we do those. The hole saws last a long time, it works great. We just picked up this mill to better our parts. We haven't hooked it up yet. I actually just picked it up yesterday, but we're doing a lot of improvements in our equipment. We're buying a brake press and a couple other big things. Yeah, we essentially build everything with the bare minimum. So to refer back to how we bend up the tubes from the computer, this is the tube bender that I built 4 years ago. The way I do it is the tube gets inserted, it's just an air over hydraulic ram, and it extends the arm, pulls the die up. It's a draw type bender, or a mandrel style. It's not a true mandrel bender because we don't insert any dies inside the tube, but it's within all the specs on how you're supposed to build a roll cage. You're not allowed any more than 10% crush on the tube diameter. So basically what that means is in the bend of the tube, the diameter can't change any more than 10% of the actual diameter. So if this is 1 3/4, this can't be any less than 1 5/8, for example. And then also the wall thickness, which they can measure via x-ray. They can check the wall thickness because as you bend the tube, the outside of the tube stretches. So they also need to check the thickness of the tube on the outside of the bends, and that has to be within 8% of the original wall thickness. And then the die itself can't be any more than 3 times the diameter of the tube. So I built the bender, everything's within spec. I've never had a cage fail, and yeah, that's how we do that with the A-pillars and the main hoops. This is a tube roller. I basically bought this to do cages in 350Zs. Those cars are so rounded. A lot of the tubes could be rolled, so that's what we use this for. You can just fit a tube perfectly if a car is a very round car. A lot of the times you can't get a tube perfect because you're making sharp bends versus a continuous roll. So it's pretty straightforward. You slide a straight tube in and you turn this down as you're rolling the tube, and you just continue to do it until you get the contour that you want. As far as equipment goes, we really don't have anything special other than that. We have a precision TIG Lincoln. I bought that 4 years ago. That's the TIG welder we use. We put out a lot of nice TIG welds with it. The main points would be we use pretty expensive cups and different features that have to do with gas and back purging that give us the desired welds. And then as far as MIG welders go, we just have a little Miller MIG welder there. And then we have another older MIG welder, just an old Hobart, that we put out great MIG welds with. Yeah, that just about does it for all of our equipment.